Hey, it's Aaron, and today I want to talk about the Rocky Mountain driving experience. This was the 2025 edition. I've been to many of these. It's put on by the Rocky Mountain Automotive Press, of which I am a member. This year it was in Littleton, Colorado, and we drove, I want to say, a dozen vehicles, give or take, and it was a really cool event. So I'm just going to go through each vehicle very quickly. These were very first impression drives, but some of these I have already driven. So I'll go through these vehicles in the order that they were presented to me in the parking lot as I walked around with my camera, taking some pictures and then hopping in and going for a drive. Because of that, they're not going to be in alphabetical or any other kind of order. They're just in the order that my camera pointed at them. So this is the order that I experienced them in. That's the best way to put this. But I want to go through these because there were a couple of really special ones. One of them said McLaren on it. So first up was the Honda Passport. This was the Trail Sport model. This is a great vehicle, nice 3-row SUV. Really nothing special to say about it per this event, other than the Trail Sport was pretty new. So that was the Honda Passport. Great vehicle. Next up was the Jeep Wagoneer S. This was the electric version, the EV. So the Wagoneer S is the shorter wheelbase or the shorter body, and then the electric version, of course, is a battery electric vehicle. I drove this with my good friend Kelly Enright, who is PR for this area for Stellantis, so Chrysler, Jeep, etc., and really liked this. It drives super smooth. It feels way more luxurious than you would expect it to be, but it's still a Jeep. It is all-wheel drive rather than four-wheel drive because it is electric, but very, very nice. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to have one of these as a longer-term loan, because I really think that this is a vehicle that deserves a little more of my time. Next up was a Genesis GV70. If you've watched videos on this channel before, you probably already know that I am a huge fan of the Genesis brand. They make a lot of really good vehicles. The GV70 I have reviewed before. I've also reviewed the electric version of this. I really like this vehicle. It's a right-sized, well-done luxury vehicle that isn't priced outside of the ballpark. It's a very well-done overall vehicle. Next up is the Hyundai Ioniq 9. This is really brand new, as in barely in production, brand new. The Ioniq 9 is Hyundai's full-size 3-row electric SUV. But you will know that on this channel I have driven the Kia EV9, and they are basically the same in all of their underpinnings. The Ioniq 9 just has a more Hyundai look and a much more kind of future-forward design quality about it. I really liked the EV9. For the short amount of time I drove it, I really liked the Ioniq 9. I also look forward to seeing this as a longer-term drive sometime in the future. Next up is the McLaren Artura Spider. This was, of course, the vehicle that everybody at the event was trying to get into at the same time, but it only seats 2. Anyway, I have driven McLarens before. A couple of years ago on this very channel, I did a review of the 570. The Artura is a much more refined vehicle compared to that 570. The 570 is a race car. It's really made to go fast and happens to be street legal. This, the Artura, is much more of a gentleman's sports car. So it's still wicked fast, it's still extremely powerful, but it's far more refined in its feel and build. Okay. And as a result of that, it's a much more comfortable vehicle to drive, a very much more day-to-day, very manageable in a lot of ways in terms of just usability. but it still has all that McLaren good stuff. So super awesome vehicle, very, very well done. I was kind of sad to find out it wasn't going to be in Denver very long and just happened to be kind of passing through, and we got lucky enough to drive it. I would love to have this in my driveway, but you can't have every toy. Next up is kind of the counter position to the Artura, and that is the Dodge Charger Daytona Electric. So this is the 4-door battery electric EV from Dodge. These hit the market really recently. The 2-door version hit first. This is a beautifully done car. I had a lot of fun in it. You're not supposed to have fun in this car because it's electric, so everybody who's into muscle cars is like, oh, it's electric, what a pile of crap. But let me tell you, it is a lot of fun. This is a great car. It's nicely refined. It accelerates at any speed at any time to even more speed. It has just a great kind of engine braking feel when you're letting the motors act as generators to slow you down. And then if you want to push the button and make muscle car sounds come out of it, they not only make the sounds, they rumble the seats. So if you want that feel, it is there in that car. I personally would not bother. When I drove it around, I had those turned off and I just drove it, and it's perfectly enjoyable just like that. Next up is the new Volkswagen Taos. So Volkswagen has redesigned the Taos, the small SUV. So this kind of fits below the Atlas, which I've done a review on here, or will do soon. I don't remember where it is in the lineup. But Volkswagen has really come a long way in terms of making their vehicles more appealing to modern everyday buyers versus just enthusiasts, and this is a good example of that. So the Taos has a really nicely done interior. Volkswagen's gone a long way in their interiors. It also just feels good. It used to be sporty in the earlier generations when it was much smaller. Now it's more of a family ride, but it's nice and smooth and easy, and just really well done on those fronts. At the event, there were 2 Subarus. There was a Subaru Forester Hybrid, which is pretty new, and I neglected to get any good photos of it that I can find. But the Forester Hybrid is nicely done. I wish I could have off-roaded it. Then maybe I would have been a little more attentive to making sure I snapped some photos. But the other one there was the Subaru WRS, what you're seeing on the screen. The WRS TS, this was really awesome. Fast, fun little car. You got a 6-speed manual in it. It just rockets everywhere, makes all the fun little rally car sounds, beats your kidneys up with the rattling, but not as much as it used to. They've done some work on some of the suspension, but it's still a very low to the ground, very high speed little car. This was a ton of fun. The WRX, I think I said S before, but anyway, the WRX has long been one of my favorite vehicles anyway. So this was just tons of fun to have. There were a couple of other vehicles that were there that I did not take photos of. There was the new Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro and Limited models. The TRD Pro was the one I was most interested in, but there was no off-road component, so I didn't really spend a lot of time with it. And then there was a Kia Sorento, which I've already reviewed before, so I will link to that down in the description. Ditto on the Lexus LX. I've already reviewed that as well. That was there. It's a beautiful SUV, but I didn't get into it because I've already driven that vehicle as a long term. And Acura was there with the ADX. Now the ADX was in high demand for this because most of the journalists in attendance, there you go, probably do not get Acura press loans. Acura is pretty picky about who they give vehicles to. I have not had the ADX, so I've had other Acura vehicles, but the ADX is really new, and I have yet to drive it. At the event, I had a hard time trying to get into it, so that was kind of a disappointment, but I look forward to having that as a press loan soon. I'm told that I'm on the list, so I know I'm going to see it. Anyway, that's the roundup. That's all the vehicles that were at the 2025 Rocky Mountain Driving Experience, or RMDE. I had a good time. It's always a good event, and it was well put on. We had way more journalists than cars this year, which is unusual. We're usually pretty close to 1-to-1, but there were a lot of extra people that showed up. I think because the McLaren, the Acura, and the Charger all got put on the list fairly early, and people jumped in to get in those. So, cool. Anyway, that's what I got. This was the 2025 year. I'm sure I'll talk to you again next year about it, about the next one. And looking forward to this fall doing a 4x4, which is an off-road event where I hope a couple of these vehicles show up so I can take them off-road, especially the Forester Hybrid, the new 4Runner TRD Pro, if I haven't just driven it here at home by then, and a couple of other ones. Anyway, that's what I got. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon. Aaron, totally unscripted. So I just stumble through this.